The Wekiva Parkway is making history, completing Central Florida's Beltway after 30 years in the making. As the final section wrapped up, the Parkway is also setting the stage for the future, expanding how generations to come will travel around Central Florida. All of this while helping to protect the precious wildlife and habitat surrounding the beloved Wekiva River. The journey to the Wekiva Parkway has been driven by the Florida Department of Transportation, Central Florida Expressway Authority, and Florida's Turnpike Enterprise. The agencies extensively collaborated with state and federal agencies, local governments, environmentalists, and thousands of stakeholders.
There's many parts to this puzzle, and they all had a piece, and we needed to get their buy-in, get their comments.
Just as important along that journey have been the tireless efforts of the many men and women who did the heavy lifting to make the Parkway a reality. Everyone knew the stakes were high in building the Parkway through the Wekiva River Basin, and the agencies were dedicated to preserving this natural treasure. The Wekiva River is a stunning natural gem. This national wild and scenic river, a Florida outstanding waterway, runs through a protected area encompassing thousands of acres of natural habitat. The Wekiva River Basin is home to sprawling habitat and wetlands, springs, and rare or threatened wildlife species. That includes burrowing owls, gopher tortoises, indigo snakes, and the Florida black bear.
What makes this area very critical for wildlife is its connectivity, and these are incredibly important habitat corridors that link the Wekiva Basin all the way up to the Ocala National Forest.
To make sure this important natural corridor was preserved, the Parkway's unprecedented protections included buying 3,400 acres of land for conservation, land that was otherwise slated for development, largely elevating the Parkway to reduce collisions with vehicles and wildlife, building 1.5 miles of wildlife crossing bridges and other protections, and limiting the number of interchanges to curb development in this precious natural area. To say there was a pressure to build and finish the Parkway is an understatement. That meant hundreds of agency and consultant staff worked for years on every Parkway facet, from planning and permitting to right-of-way acquisition, design, and construction. The Florida Department of Transportation in 2013 broke ground on the first Parkway section. This 3-mile-plus stretch put wildlife protections front and center. Central Floridians got their first look at wildlife fencing, jump outs, and bat houses. A floodplain bridge allows animals to safely cross beneath traffic between habitats. When FDOT opened the first Parkway stretch in 2016, the stage was set for other sections to follow. CFX followed suit, building their first 5 miles of the Parkway in Apopka. CFX developed the overall aesthetics concept to provide that Parkway feel, akin to beloved scenic highways around the country. Rustic-looking, stone relief and arched beam facades help the Parkway blend in with the natural surroundings.
The coordination between the district and Central Florida Expressway Authority and the Turnpike has been ongoing from day one until today.
CFX's next Parkway sections featured a systems interchange, connections to State Road 46 in Mount Dora, and to FDOT's section at County Road 435. CFX's 10 miles of the Parkway allows Orlando area residents to quickly get to Mount Dora and other Lake County destinations. To build the Parkway through the Rock Springs Run State Reserve, Seminole State Forest, and Lower Wekiva River State Preserve, FDOT had to accomplish some monumental feats of permitting and mitigation. As a national wild and scenic river, the Wekiva River's outstandingly remarkable values, wildlife habitat, recreational purposes, and natural scenery had to be protected.
How do you protect scenery? Well, we had to minimize contrast to the greatest amount possible. This was a completely new concept to us because we had to make the bridge blend in.
With a context-sensitive design in hand, the department in 2017 began work on the longest Parkway section. Section 6 stretches 6.5 miles in East Lake and Seminole counties through the heart of the Wekiva River Protection Area. Many eyes were on this section as crews worked to build the lion's share of the Parkway's heralded wildlife protections. The Parkway in East Lake County largely replaced the former State Road 46, a heavily used east-west 2-lane corridor. A new State Road 46 was built parallel to the Parkway for local trips. 2 small wildlife tunnels near Rock Springs Run State Reserve were replaced with sprawling wildlife crossing bridges. The new bridges provide nearly 100 times the protected passage under traffic for animals to travel between habitats. The 1.5 miles of wildlife crossings included new bridges over the Wekiva River.
The project had a total of 18 bridges, so 25,000 linear feet of bridge deck was completed for the project, and a large portion of that were the wildlife crossing bridges.
Great care was taken to protect this naturally recognized river. The bridges were built using top-down construction to minimize impacts to the river.
It's something that it's actually very expensive to do, but the result that you're trying to achieve is kind of priceless. You know, you're building a bridge, this massive structure over a waterway without ever getting in the river. You know, to be able to do that, you know, does take a lot of creativity and ingenuity.
Work was done from the riverbanks, and formed travelers on top of the bridge piers produced the concrete spans.
This is only the 4th project in the state of Florida to use this construction method. So it was very challenging and exciting type of bridge construction.
The long spans also mean animals can pass safely under traffic along the riverside. The 60-foot tall bridges over the river are buffered by the tree canopy from surrounding communities. The agencies realized that getting people to the Parkway also was important, so plans included $500 million in non-tolled road improvements. Widening 7 miles of State Road 46 in Mount Dora and Sanford made it easier for motorists in these thriving areas to get to the Parkway. State Road 46 improvements included new sidewalks, bike lanes, and streetlights for enhanced pedestrian and cyclist safety. To eliminate collisions between vehicles and wildlife, about a mile of County Road 46A was relocated out of the Seminole State Forest.
And that was to allow animals to be able to pass safely between the habitats in the forest. It typically was a place for high-speed traffic, so it was pretty perilous for the wildlife and for people as well. Now you can see how nature has reclaimed that area.
The Parkway corridor also features 10 miles of multi-use trail. The trail improves access to the adjacent state parks. Building the Parkway included setting up connector roads to maintain property access to State Road 46. 2018 was a big year for the Wekiva Parkway as FDOT began building the 2 remaining sections that would link it to I-4. Crews began working on Section 7A in Seminole County. This parkway stretch is paralleled by State Road 46 on both sides and included about a dozen bridges. Roundabouts help to greatly reduce left-turn collisions for residents entering State Road 46 from side street neighborhoods. A 10-foot wide sidewalk runs along State Road 46 on the south side, giving pedestrians and cyclists more freedom to safely enjoy the corridor. Transforming this corridor from the former 2-lane rural State Road 46 involved complex maintenance of traffic plans. That was tricky with construction going on adjacent parkway sections at the same time.
Team worked together great, even between the different sections with different contractors. We all met regularly, avoided conflicts, coordinated schedules.
The following fall, FDOT began work on the final connection between State Road 429, I-4, and State Road 417 in Seminole County. The massive Section 8 interchange project includes building or rebuilding more than 20 bridges, expanding 2 miles of I-4, and creating a new urban interchange to provide access at International Parkway.
The challenges on this job are unique in that it's a major system-to-system connection project. We have 22 bridges, almost every facet of construction you could have on this job. We're the last in the line of the Wekiva Parkway projects, so you have that pressure as well to deliver the system in its entirety.
2022 was a watershed year for the Wekiva Parkway, with FDOT opening 10 miles of the new roadway. Section 6 opened in May, and Section 7A along State Road 46 opened the following August. It was a crucial milestone, with FDOT fulfilling the promise to provide an elevated parkway option through the Wekiva River Protection Area.
The other thing that I think is also noteworthy is the environmental stewardship that DOT brought to this project. We've left this project better than we found it.
FDOT that October opened the first ramp of the Parkway interchange with I-4. Drivers immediately began using the ramp from I-4 westbound to southbound, westbound State Road 429. The new ramp gives expressway access from I-4 to Mount Dora, Apopka, and other destinations, and a travel alternative if there's an incident on I-4. Central Florida closed 2022 with 23 miles of the Parkway available for our use. This mammoth project already has made an impact, improving travel times, relieving congestion, and enhancing safety. Parkway sections opened in 2022 are already logging nearly 28,000 trips a day. That's traffic that's no longer clogging State Road 46. Commuters share they're saving 10 to 20 minutes by taking the Parkway to work. Early 2024 ushered in a new era for Central Florida. The Florida Department of Transportation on January 27th opened the rest of the Section 8 interchange, fully connecting State Road 429, State Road 417, and I-4. The decades-long journey to complete Central Florida's Beltway and the many challenges that had to be overcome has come to an end.
The fact that it's a new alignment was more challenging, and it's very cool project because it's the last piece of the Beltway around Central Florida. So it gives the commuters an alternative driving in I-4.
Even before the major work wrapped up, FDOT began implementing a bold landscaping initiative. Largely native and Florida-friendly plants can now be seen along the latest open sections. Both FDOT and CFX committed to robust landscaping to help create a road that is beautiful to drive, blends in with the surroundings, and is pleasing to the eye of adjacent neighbors.
I think we focused on the communities before it was cool to do so. And that's what brought all of the communities together to support the project. We asked them what was important to them, and we delivered on what we told them that we were going to do.
With persistent dedication, painstaking planning, and agency collaboration, the unprecedented Parkway vision is now a full-fledged reality. The journey has led to lessons learned and new best practices. The Wekiva Parkway model is frequently referred to now for building major transportation improvements through an environmentally sensitive area.
We can take and show other communities and other stakeholders that you can make a project better. A transportation project, can have a dramatic impact on improving the quality of life in a community.
The Wekiva Parkway has become an iconic community feature that inspires regional pride and national recognition. The many men and women over the years are proud to have helped bring this legacy project to fruition.
All of the folks at DOT, all of our consultants, all of our contractors, all of our stakeholders and partners that worked together for so many years to make this happen, we have accomplished something that has been talked about for decades, for generations.
For me, this was a legacy project. I mean, these kind of projects don't come around in people's career all the time. This project took a village. It really did.
I did work on it for almost 10 years. I'm just proud that it came to fruition and that the public could actually enjoy it.
Family and friends are always impressed with projects like this when you drive through it because they just see the massive construction, but they don't know the behind the scenes that goes on to make this a reality.
I'm very proud of sharing the success of the Wekiva Parkway. Every time we drive the Parkway, I share with the family. Every single spot had a story, and they're so proud.
You have many things that happen throughout the course of the project, many obstacles, many hurdles that you have to overcome. But ultimately, all that is a wash if you deliver it, and you have the ribbon cutting. Everyone's happy.
Oh, this was truly a legacy project, and one that I'm blessed and so happy to have been a part of. The camaraderie, the teamwork that it took to pull something like this off is nothing like I've ever been a part of.
The Wekiva Parkway experience is one many of us won't likely forget for the rest of our careers.
Today, we cut the ribbon for the final piece of the Wekiva Parkway. It's a great day for Central Florida. It's a great day for FDOT and all of our partners, the communities. It's just a tremendous accomplishment bringing all this together. A decades-long vision of completing the Beltway around Central Florida. It's a huge day.
To be part of a project and see the results of that, to go under the wildlife crossing bridges and see the tracks from the animals that are passing safely under traffic instead of in the past they had to walk across State Road 46. I mean, it's just tremendously fulfilling.
I'm so happy to be here today to cap off this historic project, the Wekiva Parkway, by celebrating with the very communities and leaders that helped make it happen. This celebration is for you.
Wekiva Parkway is an example of how we can and should have the hard and complex discussions as we plan for our future.
Completing the Beltway was extremely difficult because we had to traverse over this environmentally sensitive area. So it's just a really cool project that it was able to come to fruition.
It takes some time to tell the story of a project as big and as bold as Wekiva Parkway. We're going to ask some of y'all to come up and share some reflections and perspectives of what y'all endured, had to overcome, to get to where we are today.
We stretched boundaries. We didn't just accept the fact that this is the way we're going to do it. We learned a lot of new ways to do things. We broke through a lot of barriers, a lot of self-imposed things that we do at DOT. Oh, you have to have this done first and that done first. But that was what was really cool. We were able to all come together with one common mission and be able to accomplish this goal because we all knew we were in it together.
Thank you to everyone, not just consultants, but all the DOT team that went through this whole thing. Structures, drainage, roadway, utilities, everyone pitched in for this, and it really is a big success. For the whole corridor to be built in your career is very unusual, so I'm very blessed.
You can improve things sometimes with a construction project, and I think this is a perfect example of how we've done something really good. We've actually increased the wildlife crossings and made them better than they were before. I'm just fortunate to be a part of it because I think the people in this room right here is what really made it happen.
I've had the opportunity to work on 3 legacy projects, Sunrail, I-4, and Wekiva. All of them have their own stories. All of them were very exciting projects to work on. But this one, we tried a lot of new things on this job. A lot of innovative things, and can't thank Frank enough, can't thank Alan enough, and can't thank the right-of-way and surveying and mapping team enough.
3:45, I started getting nervous. We were supposed to open at 4. I was supposed to text people and call people if we didn't open at 4. And finally the MOT truck comes by and goes, "We're opening the road." Oh, thank goodness. A lot of back and forth with ideas. How do we do this? How do we not do this? Do you remember that time it didn't go so well for us? Like I said, this was one of those, okay, we pulled this off, what's next?
Everybody took the time to explain their perspective and help us get there. But what sticks with me the most is the people and the relationships that we built and still have today.
I got to know people on this project that had kids. Their kids grew up. I got to know people who, are no longer with us. And there's still so many folks out there that we connected with as part of this project. And I don't think we could have been successful if we hadn't done that.
There was certain people that had no confidence that we could get it done. But we did. And just give yourselves a round of applause for doing it. Really.